Michael always reminds me of this, that this is an emotional thing, right? We tend to approach this very in a clinical way. But as you noted, right, like hospitals don't have alumni, right? They have obviously former patients. I always remind people that when I'm on summer vacation, I'm walking down the beach at the Jersey Shore. People will be wearing college shirts, and they might be in their 70s or 80s. And I say, oh, do your grandkids go to, fill in the blank school? They said, no, I went there. And I'm like, who advertises a product that they essentially bought like 50, 60 years ago? There's really nothing else in America or around the world that goes like that. So there is an emotional piece to this. How do you get over that in this process?
Well, to be fair, I don't know that you can get over that.
Okay.
I mean, there is no doubt about it that it's highly emotional, highly culturally. All of us are alumni and we'd like to celebrate it. And the more we celebrate with football and college season and so on and so forth. I mean, my wife was a graduate of the University of Alabama, and every Saturday during the season, she'll deck out in that thing, sit on the couch and watch the games. And I'm a football widow. So I get the emotions. The problem is we need to think about students first. And if leaders begin to actually understand that they need to do the best they can for their students, current, future, and past, right? If you abruptly close, there is no option to preserve heritage and create a center for the past of an institution. If you do a planned closure or a merger, there's lots of options on how to preserve the alumni functions and so on. There's lots of options on how to make sure your students, current and future, have opportunities. So what I tell leaders is put students first.
Bluffton is the smaller player here, student enrollment-wise. I think that when most people think of mergers and acquisitions, they think of the institution that's kind of like leading this or taking over as like the bigger player, right? A la Northeastern. That's not always the case, correct? Or we shouldn't necessarily think of that as the case.
Well, you're absolutely correct. For starters, we do not encourage the use of the word acquisition in higher education, and I'll explain why. This is not just a political correctness. It's acquisition really refers to real estate deals, right? Because in a merger, even a small institution, a larger institution, the smaller institution still can bring a lot of talent to bear, a lot of, if you would, even talent managerially. They've been able to actually discover how to do things much more efficiently than otherwise. They have perhaps a brand or a location or other things. So one of the things we help our clients really is to remember to identify the positives in them, right? Because very many of these schools say, we have nothing good to show. We have nothing, who's going to want us? The truth is, these are mergers, small or big. Both partners bring in things to the table.
So Ricardo, thank you for joining us. Thank you for freshening up the otherwise stale conversation of this topic that Jeff and I would have had. So, and a reminder for all you listening to check out Ricardo's new book, Leading Existential Change in Higher Ed. Couldn't come at a more critical time. And also a thank you, of course, to Jane at Bluffton University and Kathy at the University of Findlay. And a reminder that for us, Jeff, that we're going to have to follow the merger story there through to its conclusion, wherever and whenever that ultimately is. And thank you to all of you, of course, for listening as always. We'll talk to you next time on Future You.